Hello, listeners, and this is CHS Radio. Welcome to the 5th episode, and I'm your host, Victoria. Man, does it feel good to be back. After a long summer break, it feels great to be getting back into these episodes because I really miss recording them and producing them for you guys. Even though we weren't able to produce any episodes over the summer of 2015, we were still able to come up with some new content for you guys. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy what we have in store for you. Even though we have been gone, we're excited to be back. And for those who don't know us, we are a podcast produced by Calvert Education students here to educate you, keep you up to date on teen issues, and maybe even make you laugh a little bit along the way. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. As always, we first have our announcements because without them, we would totally be lost. So I'll pass the ball over to Olivia, who will fill us in on what's going on.
Hello everyone, Olivia here with your announcements. I don't have many for you today, but they are both exciting. The new Creative Writing Club is starting up. You're going to want to contact Ms. Radachi for more information on that. The first project for the Creative Writing Club is going to be NaNoWriMo, which is a month dedicated to novel writing. The goal is for every student's entry to be 50,000 words. They need to be completed by the end of November. The only other announcement I have for you today is to come join us here at the Broadcasting Club. This includes CHS Radio and Readers Theater. Contact Rachel for more information. That's all for today with the announcements. Enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Okay, so it's not just me. Binge watching TV shows is actually a real thing. I'm glad I'm not the only one. If that's true, that means I'm probably not the only one who is on Google trying to look up when the next season starts after I've binge watched all 4 seasons over that 3-day weekend. Google isn't the only one with all these answers. Rachel, in our TV division, also has the deets on when the next season will start up and if not, why it was canceled. So let's find out more about the shows that have left us crying, busting a rib, or ripping our hair out with Rachel.
Halloween, everyone. Welcome back to CHS Radio's TV division. I'm Rachel, here to give you the latest news on your favorite TV shows. Itching to know what got renewed, what's new, and what's about to meet its fateful demise? Grab your tissues and sit down, because you're about to find out. Lifetime renewed its drama Devious Maids for a 4th season. The Amazing Race Canada was also renewed for a 4th season, which will be airing on CTV next year. NBC's new comedy The Carmichael Show was picked up for a 2nd season. Netflix's new hit sci-fi drama Sense8 was also renewed for a 2nd season. The reality cooking competition MasterChef is returning to Fox for a 7th season. Another Netflix sci-fi drama Between gets a 2nd season as well. The space adventure drama Killjoys was renewed by Sci-Fi for a 2nd season. The well-loved reality improv show Whose Line Is It Anyways was renewed by the CW for an 11th season. Rectify, a Sundance TV drama, is returning for its 4th season next year. Hulu's comedy Difficult People is joining the crowd of new shows and is also getting a 2nd season. Star's adventure drama Black Sails, starring Tom Hopper, was renewed for a 5th series. And really, that's basically all that's interesting, so we'll just get right on into the heartbreak. TNT's new medical drama Proof will not be returning for a 2nd season. Lisa Kudrow's comedy Web Therapy was cancelled after season 4. Star's drama Da Vinci's Demons is ending after its 3rd season. USA's latest and greatest medical drama Complications met a rather uncomplicated end after its 1st season. NBC's freshman comedy Mr. Robinson was axed also after its 1st season. Not a lot of new shows survived. Since there's not enough news this issue, I just gotta find a way to fill the void. Okay, but seriously, it's that time of year again, and amidst all the ghost stories and spooky noises, you can see all your beloved shows returning to your screens, and I'm here to tell you when they're starting up again. NBC's crime drama The Blacklist, starring the infamous James Spader, returned on October 1st. Bones returned to Fox for its 11th season, holy moly, on October 1st as well. Fox's supernatural drama Sleepy Hollow returned just in time to get the spook on, also on October 1st. MTV's hit drama Finding Carter made its entrance on October 6th. Now, who else here is super stoked? The CW's indescribably amazing show, The Flash, returned just 1 week ago on October 6th. Hopefully I'm not the only one all but crying with joy right now. And, of course, the day after, October 7th, saw the return of its predecessor, Arrow, also on the CW. It's time for more spook. American Horror Story returned to FX on October 7th. The Good Wife's 7th season premiered on October 7th on CBS, as did Madam Secretary. Now, who could forget the longest-running sci-fi show in the U.S.? The CW's Supernatural also returned on October 7th. Haven returned to Sci-Fi and Showcase for its 8th and final season on October 8th. Two more Supernatural dramas, The Originals and The Vampire Diaries, are both returning to the CW on October 8th. October 9th, we have Reign, again on the CW. Well, it's not a return date. The Last Kingdom, a new period drama based on the series by Bernard Cornwell, premiered on BBC America on October 10th. Hold on to your hats, everyone. AMC's The Walking Dead returned October 11th, because this is Thriller. Yet another CW show, Jane the Virgin, returned yesterday on October 12th. WGN America's period drama Manhattan, starring the amazing Harry Lloyd, returns tonight on October 13th. NBC's Chicago Fire is coming in hot on October 13th. Netflix's supernatural drama Hemlock Grove returns October 23rd. The moment you've all been waiting for. Are you ready? Are you sure? CW's new series, Supergirl, premieres on October 26th. And finally, Grimm is coming back to NBC just in time for Halloween on October 30th. And now, as always, it's my duty to crush your soul with a new show. Now, I've been saving this one for a special occasion, and what better time than the spookiest time of the year? So we all have that one show that we grew up watching, and thus holds a very special place in our heart. Mine is the long-running series Charmed, starring Holly Marie Combs, Alyssa Milano, and Rose McGowan. It's a supernatural drama about three sisters that discover that they come from a long line of witches when one of their sisters accidentally unleashes their powers. Actually, as it turns out, they're not just witches. They're the most powerful witches of all time. They are the Charmed Ones. Naturally, this fancy business draws all kinds of dangerous threats their way. The show has 8 seasons, though I still pretend that the last one was a terrible, terrible nightmare. One of the things that makes it so cool is that it's one of those shows that everyone has been in at one time or another. Kurt Fuller, John Cho, Misha Collins, Mark Shepard. My personal favorites were French Stewart, a mischievous but lovable genie in the 2nd season, and my all-time favorite guest star, Billy Zane, one of my favorite characters in the entire series, the fantastic, the hilarious Drake DeMond. All of this aside, though, the plotlines are really interesting, and they deal with things from demons to ghosts to nymphs, even parallel worlds in Lady Godiva. They're fantastic at drawing you into characters' lives and jerking your feelings around, and they definitely don't hesitate to shift their cast list a bit, if you know what I mean. I've been watching the show since before I was 8 years old, granted, that's as far back as I can remember, and to this very day, I still rewatch it all the time. I know the show better than I know the back of my hand, so if you're looking for a great new show to start up, hop on over to Netflix and check out Charmed, or you can find reruns early in the morning on TNT. Although, on a slightly bitter personal note, Netflix doesn't use the original theme song How Soon Is Now by Love Spit Love, which has always been an iconic part of the show for me. You can't just take away the full experience. It's rude. And now, with a slight ache in my jaw, I must bid you farewell. I wish you all a very happy Halloween, and I hope you get lots of good candy, or at least have a spooktacular time. See you next time!
Let's face it, you like animals, I like animals. We're both totally made to listen to this next segment. Let's listen to All About Animals with Naomi to learn more about our furry, or not so furry, friends.
Hey, I'm Naomi, and welcome to All About Animals, where you get to hear some cool facts about different animals as well as information on how to help them. This past month, you've probably been seeing all kinds of decorations for Halloween. In addition to the decorations and candy, though, there is another festive thing you'll see pop up around this time of year: the banded woolly bear caterpillar. This type of caterpillar will become the Isabella moth, which has a pretty orange or yellow color. The caterpillars are appropriately colored for the season in which they appear, with a black band at both ends and an orange band in the middle. The nickname woolly bear is appropriate as well, as they're completely covered in thick, dense hairs. This little dude doesn't just look awesome, he's pretty tough too. The caterpillars are most noticed during the season, often found wandering along roads and trails and taking refuge underneath leaves. Because they don't always have enough time to undergo a complete metamorphosis, many of them overwinter, but not the way many caterpillars do. Many other caterpillars overwinter while in their cocoons, emerging in the springtime. Banded woolly bears, however, freeze while still as caterpillars and thaw out in the summer, continuing as if nothing ever happened. Other woolly bears that reside in colder regions have even less time to complete their processes, needing 7 years. Want to attract the fascinating moths to your garden? They aren't picky. The caterpillars will happily feed on a wide variety of plants, including corn, clover, and sunflowers. The next time you're out on a walk to observe the neighborhood's spooky lights and signs, be sure to look out for nature's own little Halloween decoration. That's all for this segment. Tune in next time to hear new things about more cool animals. The information presented in this segment is courtesy of Butterflies and Moths of North America, Iowa State University, and CoolAntarctica.com. Thanks for listening!
Whether or not you're into politics, the 2016 U.S. presidential campaigns have begun. If you're a Democrat or a Republican or something else, it's still important to know what's going on in the campaign world from an unbiased perspective so you can form your own opinion on the next possible leader of America. Up next is the Campaign Brain with Olivia.
Hello everyone, this is Olivia coming to you from Colorado. Today I'm going to be starting a new segment on CHS Radio. It will keep you updated on the 2016 presidential campaign. In this first podcast, I will be giving you a rundown on who's running for president and with what party they are affiliated. Also, we will talk about some of the key issues the candidates are discussing. First off, let's start with the Democrats. The candidates include Lincoln Chafee, Hillary Clinton, Bernard Sanders, Martin O'Malley, and Jim Webb. There aren't a lot of Democrats running for president yet, but next up are the Republican candidates, and there are a lot of Republicans running for president. The long list is as follows: Jeb Bush, Ben Carson, Ted Cruz, Carly Fiorina, Jim Gilmore, Lindsey Graham, Mike Huckabee, Bob Jindal, John Kasich, George Pataki, are we done yet? Rand Paul, Marco Rubio, Rick Santorum, Donald Trump, and Chris Christie. Well, that's it for the presidential hopefuls. Let's talk issues. There are several key issues that I have seen the candidates talking about on the news and in the headlines. First is immigration. They are discussing what laws and policies should be put in place to control illegal immigration. Next is the Iran nuclear deal. President Obama recently made a treaty with Iran. This treaty reduced economic sanctions on Iran. However, in exchange, Iran had to get rid of most of their nuclear materials. I have seen many of the candidates discussing if they think the deal was a good idea or not. Another issue is healthcare. On the news, they have been discussing what kind of healthcare should be available, to whom it should be available, and at what cost it should be available. Some candidates believe in making affordable healthcare mandatory for everyone, while others do not. Finally, another big issue is the massive debt facing our country. All of the candidates have different plans to help raise money and get the economy back on track. Many of the plans I have seen include an increase in manufacturing in the United States, which in turn will create jobs. All of these topics are very important to the candidates and to us as well. The outcomes of each of these issues could potentially change the United States and affect our safety and financial stability in the future. Okay, let's find out who is leading in the Fox News polls for each party. As a quick note, there are many polls in the United States, but for this segment I will be using the Fox News poll as much as possible. Hillary Clinton is leading for the Democratic Party, however, Bernard Sanders is rapidly rising toward her. Also, Lincoln Chafee is at the bottom of the Democratic poll. Donald Trump is leading for the Republicans, but Ben Carson, Carly Fiorina, and Marco Rubio are inching closer and closer to him every day. Finally, Lindsey Graham is at the bottom of the Republican poll. Well, that's all for today here on Campaign Brain. I hope that you find this segment helpful on staying up to date with the election news. It is also my belief that this segment will help you get excited about politics. Voting is so important in our country, and you can only vote effectively if you stay well informed. Have a great day!
Getting wished happy birthday is so nice, which is why CHS Radio would like to wish a very happy birthday to some special listeners turning another year older. Happy birthday to Callie and Stephanie. Also, happy birthday to one of our own CHS Radio reporters, Olivia. Happy birthday, girl. Happy birthday, guys, and I hope it's a good one. If you or a friend have a birthday coming up, go ahead and let us know so we can wish them a very happy birthday on the next podcast. to have you or a friend's first name wish a happy birthday on the podcast, go ahead and contact us by emailing us at chsradiobirthdays@gmail.com. Once again, we wish you a very happy birthday from the whole CHS Radio team. Bye, guys. Up next, we have a special segment called Interactions. Listen up to this special feature hosted by Rachel.
Hey guys, welcome to our brand new Interactions segment, inspired by Robin Peterson. In this issue, we'll talk about effective communication. First, I want to start by defining communication. According to Google, communication is the exchange of information or news. Communication is a vital part of getting along in society. It helps get your needs met, to connect with other people, and to share your ideas. Poor communication leads to mistakes, misunderstandings, and problematic relationships, and a lack of communication can kill a relationship entirely. What if I told you that the majority of people don't actually know how to communicate effectively? Would you know why? It's because they were never taught. Believe it or not, communication is a skill. It has its own rules and it takes practice. You might think, I know how to talk, so I know how to communicate. Well, you would be wrong. There's a big difference between talking and communication, and we're going to take a closer look at them. Talking doesn't necessarily have a destination. Have you ever heard somebody talk and yet say nothing at all? You might walk away from that conversation feeling like you'll never get that half hour of your life back. What about someone who seems to talk at you, around you, or even over you? And we're not talking about prepositions here. They interrupt your train of thought and don't include you in the conversation. Talking also doesn't require more than one person to be involved. For instance, you can talk to yourself while solving an algebra equation, or scream at the TV when your favorite character dies. Talking also doesn't follow a set of rules like communicating does, and often doesn't involve a meaningful exchange of ideas. You may experience this when talking to your siblings. Communicating, on the other hand, is the act of sharing ideas and information between two or more people in a specific way. There are many forms of communication, such as written or visual, but I'm going to focus on verbal and nonverbal. Let's take a look at the rules that apply to both of these. Make sure you have someone's undivided attention when you need to communicate with them. You want to make sure that there's no distraction so you can be fully heard. If you need to talk to your mom about school but she's balancing the checkbook or something, pick a different time. Likewise, if you need to talk to your dad but he's watching the Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup for the third time in 4 years, sit down and join him because there's no need to talk during that. Or you could ask him to pause the game or pick a time when you have his full attention. Additionally, when someone is communicating with you, make sure you're paying attention and not forming your response before they're done speaking. In American culture, it's customary to keep eye contact while speaking with someone, as this demonstrates respect and honor. I, of all people, know that this can be uncomfortable, and that's okay. Try looking at their face instead to show that you're interested in what they have to say. Just be aware, though, that by not looking them in the eye, it could suggest that you're lying, guilty, avoiding them, hiding something, or embarrassed. While someone's talking, occasionally nodding, asking questions, saying okay, or some other form of verbal affirmation like the cave people's preferred grunting, shows them that you're listening. One of the most important rules in basic, respectful communication is to never interrupt someone, unless they're about to get eaten by a werewolf. We all know how frustrating it can be to lose your train of thought, and a lot of people tend to think out loud. So while their sentence may be finished, their thought might not be. Give them the chance to finish before you respond. Another thing you want to avoid is guessing what the other person is going to say and responding before they finish, or finishing their sentence for them. It's their turn to talk, so let them. Another rule of communication deals with strong emotions such as anger, grief, being upset, or any other form of emotional distress. Any kind of strong negative emotion makes you think unclearly. It's okay to take some time out and collect yourself in these types of situations where emotion can cloud your judgment and cause you to do or say things you don't mean. You could say something like, I'm really angry right now and I need to calm down, so I'm going to go to my room and listen to some music, and when I'm feeling calmer, we can continue our conversation. When you're feeling better, keep your word and revisit the conversation. To use a personal example, an old friend of mine recently asked if she could call me to talk, but things weren't left on the best of terms, and I knew talking over the phone would lead to me saying things that could hurt her even more. I asked if we could message each other instead, allowing me the opportunity to think or calm down before responding. Finally, don't invade their personal space. In American culture, you want to allow an arm's length of distance between you and the person you're speaking with. If you want to move closer, ask for their permission first. Keep your audience in mind and make sure you use language that everyone understands. While you might tell your friend that her hair is on fleek, if you say this to your grandmother, she'll probably look at you like you were dropped on your head as a baby. Which, coincidentally, I was. Another part of effective communication is active listening, and it shows the person speaking that you're paying attention. When communicating with someone, conversation should never be one-sided, but should consist of an equal amount of talking and listening. If you find yourself talking incessantly, stop and let the other person join in the conversation. It's important to have good listening skills because it allows you to be successful in anything you do. Leaders have good listening skills because they know being a poor listener accounts for mistakes, confusion, and frustration among the people. When we're constantly the ones talking, we never give ourselves the chance to learn by listening to the other person. Start practicing these skills now and your future self will thank you. For further clarification, communication should not be confused with communing as one does with the dead, though I suppose that is a form of communication. The script for this segment was co-written with my mother using her skills as a spiritual counselor through her business Namaste from a Distance. If you want to learn more about nonverbal communication, watch episode 1 of TED Talks featuring Amy Cuddy. Thank you, Mrs. Peterson, for volunteering to help with this segment. Students, do you know of an adult who can provide helpful advice for those in the Calvert High School community? Please contact me at chsradio417@gmail.com to find out how they can share their advice.
I really like our new segment because I find it really fun to say. Our new segment is Bookmania, all about books with Raquel. So, to Bookmania!
What do you get when you have an undead mage, a 12-year-old girl, and a dead uncle with a hidden past? Hello everyone, you are listening to Raquel, and I am doing this month's book segment. So, when I was finding a good book to cover for this segment, I tried to narrow it down by thinking of the obvious things, such as age groups, and also books that had action, humor, and great characters. This all led me to a favorite series of mine, Skullduggery Pleasant, by the Irish author Derek Landy. I read the series a couple of years back, and I can honestly say that it is one of those books you keep going back to. The series of Skullduggery Pleasant begins following the life of a relatively normal girl, bored with her life until a surprising series of events sends her reeling headfirst into a world of magic and danger. Which might sound slightly familiar, because this is a pretty basic plot concept that's found in a lot of other book series, right? However, this is where Skullduggery Pleasant begins to differ. It takes this cliched plot structure and transforms it into something incredible and completely unheard of. Beginning after the death of her uncle, the main character Stephanie Edgley gets involved with a very strange man with an even stranger name, Skullduggery Pleasant. The thing that's really interesting and unique about him is that, well, he's an undead, magic-wielding detective. From here on, the series basically follows Stephanie and the witty, sarcastic detective Skullduggery on the mysteries that they solve in the magical world. Most of the time, these crimes revolve around the attempted resurrection of these godlike creatures called the Faceless Ones. And if these villains succeed, more than just the magical world will be in danger. Reading the series, you can come to expect some pretty awesome plot twists and a lot of, at times, exaggerated action. Also, the sheer imagination that went into these characters and magical creatures is absolutely incredible. For me, this is the thing that stands out most in these books, the varied and frankly amazing range of characters. Skullduggery Pleasant's character is an interesting mix between the Doctor in Doctor Who and Sherlock, which, as you can imagine, can be extremely entertaining. Main character Stephanie Edgley, on the other hand, is sarcastic, clever, and serves as the anchor for us in this unknown world. The clever dialogue and humor that these characters display throughout the series makes it easily one of my favorites, which is certainly saying something. One issue with recommending this book is that it's a little difficult to actually find. The first copy that I got was mailed to me from my aunt in London, but I have yet to find a copy in a bookstore that sells it in the US. It can, however, be easily found online and is readily available on Kindle. The audiobook was also very enjoyable and is definitely recommended for anyone that likes Irish accents. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this segment. Let us know on Edmodo which books you enjoy. Also find CHS Radio on Facebook and Tumblr and tell us there too. And remember, never stop reading.
There is always something new going on in the music world, whether it be with new artists, new music, old music, new albums, old albums. It's all there all the time, especially in this day and age. Plus, music is popular and everyone loves to listen to it. I know I do. So, to help you keep up with all that new and old stuff, as well as to help you discover new and old music, we have Rachel in the Music Corner. To you, Rachel.
Hello, kindly folk. Rachel here, welcoming you back to CHS Radio's Music Corner. Whether you listen to metal, Motown, or musical soundtracks, I'm here to give you the latest news from the music world. Before we get started, I have a question that I wanted to ask you guys. If you were a high-fashion ghost, where would you go to shop? I was thinking a boutique, but Banana Republic also sounds like a good option. Help a ghoul out? Okay, before we get into the meat of the news, I have something to announce. As you may remember, as it was probably less than 10 minutes ago, I recommended my favorite show, Charmed, back in the TV division. Well, none other than Rose McGowan, who plays one of the sisters on the show, released an album called RM486 on September 21st. You can find it over on Spotify. Selena Gomez's new album Revival came out on October 9th. October 9th also saw the release of Toby Keith's 35 Mile Per Hour Town. Saint Germain, a house artist, released his album Real Blues on October 9th. Deer Hunter is releasing their new album Fading Frontier on October 16th. Confident by Demi Lovato comes out on the same day, October 16th. Electronic artist Jean-Michel Jarre will be releasing his album Electronica 1 The Time Machine on October 16th as well. October 16th will also see the release of Omi's new album Me For You. Neon Indian is releasing their album Vega International Night School on October 16th. Folk rocker Carrie Roos Lawton is releasing her new album To the North on October 22nd. And for the record, I discovered her during the writing of the script, and she is amazing. I do also want to note that I did pronounce her name wrong, so it would be easier to spell if anyone wanted to search for her. She's Norwegian, and the Google Translate of her name made me like, what? Carrie Underwood is releasing a new album called Storyteller on October 23rd. Dave Gahan and Soul Savers are releasing an album on October 23rd called Angels and Ghosts. October 23rd will also see the release of Joanna Newsom's Divers and Pure Bathing Culture's Pray for Rain. Afropop artist Seiyi Shea has an untitled album coming out also on October 23rd. Vanessa Carlton is releasing Lieberman on October 23rd. Graveyard has Innocence and Decadence coming out on October 25th. On October 30th, Def Leppard is releasing their self-titled album, and Pucifer is releasing Money Shot. Escape the Fate releases Hate Me on the same day, and Skinrid releases Volume. Americana artists Stephen Martin and Eddie Brickell have an album called So Familiar coming out on October 30th. And finally, Tina Arena is releasing 11 on October 30th. Unfortunately, amidst all its updates, iTunes no longer offers its free song of the week. Boo. But I went ahead and did a bit of research and found some dynamite sites to help you fill in the frugal void while helping you discover free music. This issue, we'll talk about Jamendo. That's Jamendo. Probably Jamendo. Jamendo is half blog, half store. You can find posts promoting artists, new albums, or even themed playlists. They have a really cool tagging system that goes not just by genre, but by instruments and mood. Looking for a song with strings? Or maybe you want something specifically British or something in a different language. Their advanced search options go deeper than you might expect. They also offer radio channels much like iTunes Radio, only if you hear something you like, you can just go right ahead and download it. I haven't had much of a chance to explore the website in depth, but while it seems like they don't have the major artists, you might find some lesser-known names in the mix. Besides, you don't want to take the fun out of exploring. Now, just for fun, I thought I'd take a look at some artists who were born on Halloween. This way, while you're celebrating your free candy, you can also be celebrating the birthdays of some of your favorite band members. In 1952, Bernard Edward of Chick was born on October 31st. 1963, John Marr of the Smiths and Mickey D of Motorhead. 1966, Ad Rock, also known as Adam Horovitz, of the Beastie Boys, and 1981, Frank Anthony Iroh of My Chemical Romance. For once, I've been putting off my Rex because, well, what is a Halloween song? Is it spooky instrumental with creaking and plucked strings? Songs about ghosts and zombies? And where are all of these songs? So I decided to ask for some audience participation. Friends, family members, and fellow classmates all banded together to help me find the spook. And here's what they had to say. Calvin recommended Vertilac by The Doors for a kind of spooky, old-fashioned horror movie feel. Sherry said Ghosts by Dan Fogelberg as well as the rest of his Innocent Age album. Both Robin and Delaney suggested the theme music from Psycho. Jesse recommended Pet Sematary by the Ramones and Night of the Living Dead by Misfits. Now, I can't forget the songs that I actually could think of, because most of them are Halloween classics. Naturally, when you're hosting a Halloween party, you want your guests to leave thinking, well, that was a graveyard smash. And you know what'll help get them in that mood? The Monster Mash. Pick a version, any version, of this spooktacular hit. But maybe you don't want your party to be likened to one of the most haunted places ever, and maybe you want something a little more adult. Don't admit this out loud though, because everyone will think you're a buzzkill smashing their juju. Or maybe even mashing it. You monster. Anyways, you can never go wrong with Thriller, which was also recommended by Donna, or Ghost by the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. And finally, the last one I could think of is more on the strange side. Reinforce your zombie fighting skills with creature features aimed for the head. But before you guys go, I need help with one more thing. For you vampires out there, what do you order when you go out? I've heard that the steak sandwich is pretty popular, but my skeleton friend was arguing that the spare ribs are sacrumptious. I just can't seem to stop their arguing. Alas, that's all I have for today. But if you want to send in your favorite bone-chilling songs, you can do so over at chsradio.tumblr.com/ask. You can also keep an eye on our Spotify to find songs featured in the show. And finally, if you want to keep up with my personal music shenanigans, you can follow me on last.fm as LlamaLlama33. See you next time, guys, and happy Halloween! Stick around for a hopefully decently pronounced cover of Juanes, Tu Guardian by Valeria. And my apologies for the very sad pronunciation.
Duérmete pronto, mi amor, que la noche ya llegó. Cierra tus ojos que yo de tus sueños cuidaré. Siempre a tu lado estaré y tu guardián yo seré. Toda la vida. Si un día te sientes mal, yo de bien te llenaré. Y aunque muy lejos tú estés, de tu sombra cuidaré. Siempre a tu lado estaré y tu guardián yo seré. Toda la vida. Esta noche te prometo que no vendrán ni dragones ni fantasmas a molestar, y en la puerta de tus sueños yo voy a estar hasta que tus ojos vuelvan a abrir. Duérmete, mi amor, sueña con mi voz. Duérmete, mi amor, hasta que salga el sol. Duérmete, mi amor, sueña con mi voz. Duérmete, mi amor, que aquí estaré yo.
We hope you have enjoyed this edition of CHS Radio and will tune in next month on the first Tuesday of the month for the next episode. If you have liked this episode or we have mildly amused you, you can find more of us on our website. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Google Plus as CHS_radio. We thank you for listening, and as always, I'm Victoria and this is CHS Radio. Bye, guys.
The information in today's podcast was gathered from Wikipedia, Psychology Today, IsMyShowCancelled.com, ReturnDates.com, Jamendo, and Real Clear Politics. Have a good one.
Stars Adventure. I can't say this.
Hello, listeners, and this is CHS Radio. Welcome to the fifth edition. Losing my voice all of a sudden. Okay. I just started. Gosh dang it.
There are several key issues that I've seen the candidates discussing about. That's not grammatically correct.
Hello, listeners, and this is CHS Radio. Welcome back again! Gosh darn it.
Thank you for sucking. You're welcome.
Many of the plans I've seen include an increase in manufacturing in the United States, Okay, restart that.
And maybe, just maybe, make you laugh a little bit along the way, and I'm losing my voice. I just started. This isn't fair.
Saying okay, or some other form of verbal affirmation.
And affect our safety and financial state. Yeah.
Hello, dang it, I clapped at the same time. That messes everything up.
And affect our safety and financial stability in the future. I can't get this right.
The Amazing Race. I'm distressed.
Well, that's all for today here on Campaign Brain. I hope that you... What was that? Campaign Brain. That's the creepiness. Creepyville.
Listen to All About Animals with Naomi to learn more about furry or not so furry friends.
The well-loved reality improv show Whose Line Is It Anyways was removed by the CW for an 11th season.
To listen to this next segment. The next segment coming up. The next segment coming up. They both mean the same thing, but I'm gonna say them at the same time next to each other, which makes no sense because they mean the same thing.
Voting is so important in our country. And yeah.
The well-loved reality improv show Whose Line Is It Anyways? Whose line is it anyways? What is this line anyways?
Let's face it. You da 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 dum da da you ba da 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 animals.
Booyah! Yeah, man. Ha. Did it.
Done. Stop the recording.
This is a cheesy pickup line. It's not even a real pickup line. It's just like something I made up. It's supposed to be like a parody off of the you like Legos, I like Legos, let's build a relationship together pickup line, but it's with animals and how we should listen to this next segment. But it's cheesy.
NBC's freshman comedy Mr. Robinson was also asked to leave the network. They're like, you suck. Can you leave, please? It's like, okay.
To learn more about our furry or not so furry friends. I can't keep it together. Oh, serious. You had it. No.
It's time for more spook. I just said that in a southern accent. Whoa, it's time for more spook. That wasn't even an accent at all. Okay, anyways.
Let's listen to All About Animals with Naomi.
Haven returned to Sci-Fi and Showcase for its 8th and final season. This isn't Troy. It's actually Savan, so never mind. Ha ha ha, Troy Bolton. Wildcats, get your head in the game.
I couldn't even start it that time. Serious face.
NBT's plot twist. This is... Nope, I was gonna make a joke. I got no joke for that. The joke is that there's no joke. Surprise. Haven returned to Sci-Fi and Showcase for its 8th and final season. Ooh, man.
I like animals. We're totally made to listen to this next segment together. No, I said together. That's weird. I don't want to listen to this with you. You go listen to it by yourself, and I'll listen to it by myself. Yeah, antisocialness together.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Are you ready? Are you sure? I can't do this.
Next up, we have a special segment called Interactions. There's a space between inner space actions. It's 2 words. It's not... Why? This wasn't in my script. Interact... Actually, there's, the dash. It's not interactions like, wee. Whoa, what kind of interactions are you having?
Now I've been saving this one for a special occasion, and what time better than the spookiest time? The spookiest time. Get the spook on. Much spook.
Up next, we have a special segment. Special. Whether you're not or not, boom. Are you a knot? Ooh, like a tying knot, or like a knot jokes. Not. This is not funny.
It's a supernatural drama starring about 3. There's maybe 3. It's about 3 sisters, give or take 1.
The U.S. presidential 2016 elections the elections have not begun. It is 2015. The campaigns have begun, not the elections. Holy smokes.
The moment you've all been waiting for. Game show voice. Surprise! Are you ready? Are you sure? CW's new series, Supergirl, premieres on October 26th. That was a ride. Okay.
How do you make books sound fun? You don't. You read them. That's how they're fun. You're not going to get too much fun out of telling someone about a book. It's more in actually journeying through the book and reading about the book. Now, I said read. Oh.
Hello, kindly folk. Rachel here. Oh no, fan is on. No.
How do you make books sound fun when they're meant to be having fun? Books are meant to have fun, guys.
Up and away, my beautiful balloon. Ooh, that was dusty and I just touched it. Ooh, nasty. Nasty.
We thank you for listening to this episode, this edition of CHS Radio podcast. And now that I'm done recording this, I'm gonna go frickin' watch the rest. Yeah, I'm gonna finish binge watching the rest of Once Upon a Time. Yeah, you heard me. I ain't done yet.
See you next time. No, I just said that in the same voice. That didn't change anything. I'm just like, see you next time. What? See you next time on Big Brother. Spooky commentator voice. Ew. Ha 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 ha.